You most likely have heard or maybe even played Sonic Robo Blast 2 before, given its long history in the Sonic fan game community. There's also a chance you've seen people sharing a sprite or mod for the game they're working on, and the first thing that stands off to you is that the character is entirely green. You may have thought that it was an original character or a new form based on an existing character. Trust me, there were times I was spriting Sonic for the game and people thought it was Manic or Scourge. There's actually a good reason as to why the internal player sprites and modded character sprites for Asabichu alike are very often colored in such way. This is a bit traced back from the fact Asabichu was built off of the Doom engine. In Doom, the main character's armor is colored in bright green, and the engine will change that specific green ramp when changing the sprite color in the player setup for multiplayer purposes. Asabichu picks up from this and relies primarily on the green row of the game's palette for changing the character's primary color. Say you're playing online and you want to play as a purple Knuckles or an orange Sonic. It's also convenient when applying super form palette cycles to your character, making only their primary color flash. But you may wonder how mandatory this is, or what's even stopping content creators from just picking another color in the palette to change colors within the game. To tell you the truth, nothing. But there are a few catches. Every player color you select in Asabichu has a total of 16 tones, which is the exact amount of tones the green ramp in the game has, while most of the other ramps has a lesser amount of tones, meaning the color change will be a lot more compressed. There are ramps in the palette that have the same amount, such as gray, brown, red, and orange, but said tones are used more universally in character body parts commonly and usually cannot be separated properly. For example, if you color Knuckles' internal sprites red, when changing his color in the game, you'll be changing the color of his shoes and his tongue alongside his fur color. However, the blue ramp in the palette does happen to have 16 tones in total, and it's not as universally used as the colors I mentioned. So if using green to separate your character's primary color is for some reason off limits, or you just prefer coloring your sprites blue, that's also a reasonable alternative. By the way, you may have noticed there's a short ramp of extra green colors in the palette, which is a bit more saturated than the other green ramp. It's very handy when your character design uses green, but you don't want it to be recolored. It was especially helpful for Amy's sprites, who already uses plenty of colors in her design. If you like this video, let me know if there are any other topics you are interested in having covered in this channel.